Once I see what's that called? A number 2?
Poopies?
No, what do you call the second movie?
Oh, a sequel.
Once I see a sequel, I already. Yeah,
there's barely any sequels that actually live up to it.
I'm done. I'm done. Once I see sequel, I know, and then I see the timing of the sequel. Okay, like when those two morons, when Jim Carrey and his partner did that one movie where they played morons. But then Jim Carrey didn't want to do it. All of a sudden he loses his popularity, and now he wants to pull it off. And I heard it was god awful.
It was awful.
Oh, yeah. Just god awful.
I didn't finish that one.
You know, it was forced, like forced comedy. I've worked on movies. See, they say once you see behind the curtain. But I've worked, I got it when I was shooting The Longest Yard, and I thought it was very embarrassing. I got it that how the staff has to keep your spirits high while you're shooting a movie. So they have to clap after every scene. They have to be, it's like when you go to the Improv, and there's a comic up in San Francisco or somewhere artsy, his friends come, and they clap and they laugh differently so you can hear the, ha! Mm-hmm. Ha! Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Don't laugh. Mm-hmm. I'd rather you don't do shit. Don't do that. It just sounds shitty, That's the same kind of fake laughter on sets. And I would watch it, and I studied that shit. I love movies. But then when I started doing movies, then you start watching the marketing of the movies. And what they actually, I'm going to tell you what the saddest day of my life was. The Super Bowl, when I watched the screening of The Longest Yard, and I saw Adam Sandler at the screening put his finger in his mouth and put it in the referee's ear. I nearly went back to my room and had a nervous breakdown because I wasn't there that day when they shot that. If I would have been there with that shot, I would have lit the cameras on fire. Do you understand? Because that's The Longest Yard, a movie about convicts. Convicts don't stick their fingers in another convict's ear or another fucking referee's ear. You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit. Like when I saw that style of marketing, I thought The Longest Yard, when we were on the set, they were telling us it was going to be marketed a different way. When we got there, it was marketed completely different. And that broke my fucking heart, Spider-Man was marketed how they said it was going to be marketed. I was a Spider-Man guy when I was a kid, but after you're 13, you discover titties, there's no more Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? After you discover that little monkey, there's no more Spider-Man in your life. You can't show up with the girls and talk about Spider-Man. So I lost the Spider-Man thing. And then when the first movie came out, believe it or not, I went to see the first one. Mm-hmm. I went on a date with my wife. I said, let's go see Spider-Man. It was I liked it.
I liked it too.
I liked it.
Spider-Man 3 ruined me for life.
How bad was Spider-Man 3?
Oh, there's a scene where he's dancing, he's bouncing on chairs, like Peter Parker, being all romantic, and it just crushed me. It was over. It was over after that.
I can't get into that series, Spider-Man, with Tobey, Maguire. And I can never get into
the new one's horrible. The new one's like Twilight Spider-Man.
And there's two new ones. There's a Spider-Man, and then they just remade it again.
I won't watch
and then Lord of the Rings. When those came out, I didn't get a job at Blockbuster because I told them I didn't like Lord of the Rings. The manager got real upset.
I like Lord of the Rings.
They're 3 hours long of the same thing.
I can't watch any of those movies. I can never even turn that shit on. To Harry Potter, I call my wife Terry Potter. I call my wife Terry Potter because I come home and she'd be watching that shit. Yeah. I don't even, I have this Star Trek. I've hated Star Trek since I was a kid. Not because I like the characters. I like Spock. I like I didn't like the music in the beginning as a child. When I was a little kid and I heard that music, it scared the fuck out of me. I don't like sci-fi. I don't like
sci-fi. Did you like Star Wars growing up?
Nothing. I wouldn't go see any of that stuff if you fucking paid me. It's so weird how it was such a huge part of generations. I didn't know how big it was till Carrie Fisher and her mother died. How many people went crazy over Carrie Fisher, over being Princess Leia. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who the fuck Princess Leia was. When Princess Leia came out, I was smoking dope, hanging out behind St. Michael's in Union City. I never fell for none of that shit as a kid. Even as a kid, I got wise. I would look at the trailers and go, that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. And my friends would go and I wouldn't go and they get pissed off at me. My karate friends used to go to those things. I didn't like none of those geeky movies.